That's for later. I'm an Anglophile, so talking about things that aren't English is a little exciting for me, so bear with me. My play is Troilus and Cressida, which means it's taking place during the Trojan War. Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, good time. For a little background information, Trojan War happened because there's this awesome woman named Helena of Troy who's very beautiful, and Paris from Troy was like, she's Greece. Paris from Troy goes, oh, you're hot, come with me. Steals her from the Greece people. The Greece people aren't happy. War breaks out, and right now we're in the 7th year of siege at Troy. That's when it starts. So the play opens, Troilus, I can't say his name right now.
Troilus.
Yes! He is a prince of Troy, and he starts off by saying, I cannot fight anymore because I'm too in love with Cressida. Which sounds kind of wimpy, but go with it. You have Pandarus who comes along, and Pandarus is Cressida's uncle, says, don't worry about it, I've got this covered. I'm ruling on your behalf. I am telling her how awesome you are, it's going to all work out, don't worry about it. So Troilus goes off to continue to fight, and Pandarus goes to talk to Cressida. In this conversation, you find out that Cressida is actually really, really in love with Troilus, but doesn't want to let him know, because as soon as she lets him know, she's afraid that he'll stop loving her for some reason. So it's like this weird thing. Also, what's happening is war, right? So you have Hector who is talking to the Trojan people, like, we need to just give Helen up. We're done with this. We don't want to fight anymore. So let's just give her up. And Troilus is there. It's like, no, but what about love? What about marriage? What about passion? And you have Hector go, what are you, crazy? You young fool, you. Completely dissolves his argument until you have Troilus come back with, what about honor and glory and fighting for renown? And Hector's like, yeah, okay, let's continue to fight. So there's this huge challenge that Hector throws out, like that the Greeks have to meet him one-on-one. The problem is the Greeks are like, oh, Achilles, he's our hero, except he's not fighting anyone right now. So we need to find a substitute. I know, let's substitute Ajax. That sounds great. And so they put up Ajax. Act 3 happens. You have, this is the meeting between the lovers, Cressida is finally able to see Troilus because of Pandarus. They exchange vows. She doesn't really want to sleep with him right then, but Pandarus kind of is like, oh, it's going to be okay, don't worry about it. So they hook up. It's great. That happens off stage. Not on stage, in case you're wondering. In the Greek camp, you find out that Cressida's father, who had been a Trojan, has abandoned them to go to Greece and fight with them. Great times. Is saying, I actually want my daughter back, why don't we exchange this Trojan for her? They exchange, it's all great. Except the lovers are angry because they just got together and now they're separated, and she has to then thank you. She has to go to the Greek camp by herself. They promise to stay faithful, that doesn't actually happen. Long story short, Troilus ends up sneaking into the camp, seeing her be wooed by another Greek. Is heartbroken. Hector dies in battle, and Troilus is left alone, embittered, no one to love him, all that great stuff. So, things to think about. Troilus. If you're wondering what he is, think Troy. He's a prince of Troy. It takes place during the Trojan War, right? If you're wondering about Achilles, the problem with him is he's not killing anyone. Yes, it was a bad joke, but go with it. Pandarus is a panderer. Think frying pan. At least that's what I do. Okay, so those are some verbal cues to think about when doing it. If you notice, there is little holes in your handouts. I would suggest you read them, especially the top size, and I would encourage you to draw pictures of things to hang your memory on. So when you take the test, you have images. Lastly, for tactile learners, there is a doll in here, either Cressida or Pandarus or the other guy. There's also a plot summary. Read the plot summary and put together a doll. It'll be awesome and wonderful.